Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report. I'm Rick Heath, with me, Mark Rogers, and we are at Bar Cicchetti, Northeast 2nd Street in Deep Deuce. Great place, great eclectic food menu, always great drinks here at Bar Cicchetti. If you're out for the holidays and you're downtown, got to come by Bar Cicchetti and entertain your friends and have some fun. Watch a big screen.
Oh, yeah. Best TV in town, I think, and they got some Christmas decorations in here. We're just noticing they're really cool.
Yeah, they are. It's a nice place. You got to come during the holidays. Come down to Bar Cicchetti, whether you're going to a Thunder game or just celebrating with friends and family downtown. Mark, the Thunder are coming back home after a long stretch on the road. Not a total success, but not bad. 2-3 after playing 5 playoff teams. Not bad.
No, it started off good, but then 3 in a row against some of the better teams. Cleveland's really improved. I think that they've taken a step up in the East, and they played well in that game. They ran out of gas in Memphis in the fourth quarter against a team that will challenge, I think, for the Western Conference, a team that's capable of winning multiple playoff series. And then in Dallas, the Mavs, the Thunder have had a lot of success in Dallas. Won earlier this year there and had a wild game, but ultimately ended up losing. But Shea has a great night, scoring 42.
Yeah, and Cleveland and Memphis, 2 of the best young teams coming up in the East and Western Conference. I mean, Memphis is a bad matchup for them. Cleveland is a bad matchup. What the Thunder don't have, Cleveland has in spades in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley.
Well, they have a bunch of size, and they really do use that size in a different way. I think that's kind of how the Oklahoma City Thunder would like to play, really a team that is positionless. So Poku had a big night in Cleveland at 16 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks. He hit all 3 of his 3. So you're starting to see, again, I really think he's been, he's improved this season. He's worked on his strength. You can see that. He's got still room to grow and consistency. But that was a good game that he had against those big guys.
I need to work on my strength too.
Yeah,
so,
right.
But me and Poku will work out together. Hey, we are at Bar Cicchetti, Mark Rogers, Rick Heath. And if you want to have a wonderful brunch, check out the brunch at Bar Cicchetti every Sunday from 11 to 2. Great changing menu for the brunch. Go ahead and go online and make a reservation. You won't regret it. We'll be right back. Hook and Reel Cajun restaurant and seafood bar here, featuring signature drinks like the margarita and the Hook Punch, of which we've tasted, and very delicious, may I say. They also have wonderful signature drinks, the tea lemonade, Malibu Sunsets, Raspberries, Cajun candy, strawberry Hennessy, and the Hook Punch. All of these which are part of their signature lineup of cocktails for you, along with wonderful food. I mean, we had a look at the food a while ago, and it is absolutely fantastic. And we're going to try some here in just a little bit, but you got to come by and get the crab boils, or they got crab rolls, they got Cajun crab fries, they've got lemon pepper chicken wings, they got crab chowder, and also lobster bisque. All of that here available at Hook and Reel Cajun Seafood and Bar.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rogers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wanderfolk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wanderfolk Gin, Wanderfolk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So if you come to like Cohiba Lounge, ask for a Wanderfolk Gin and Tonic, or ask for a Wanderfolk Vodka and Tonic, or a club special. It's getting where you can get that now. It's getting warmer. A vodka club special made with Wanderfolk Vodka. Great selection, and you're supporting Oklahoma businesses. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wanderfolk Spirits.
EDS Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for auto body repair. Whether it be from hail damage, dents, scratches, or even glass replacement and repair, we can accommodate all your needs. Locally owned and operated since 2005, EDS Paintless Dent Repair is here for you. Give us a call at 405-476-1763 or go to edspaintlessdentrepair.com.
At Laser Light Skin Clinic, our most popular treatment is now more affordable than ever. Right now, you can save up to 50% on Cool Sculpting, the #1 choice for non-invasive fat reduction. Our flexible treatment plans allow you to choose the option that is perfect for you. Focus on a single problem area or revive your life with a fresh new you. These are real results. For your personal Cool Sculpting consultation, call Laser Light Skin Clinic today. A new you awaits.
And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report, Thunder Basketball Edition. Mark Rogers, Rick Heath here from Barchicchetti. You know, the Thunder have played 16 of their 27 total games on the road. So, and they haven't even played a home game in December yet. So, you know, that's kind of a tough stretch for them, but they've played fairly well. You know, and SGA, Shai Gilgeous, if I said it right, Gilgeous Alexander, has been outstanding. All-star play all year long.
Yeah, he's second in the league in scoring. 11 to 13 games for the Thunder stretch here at home. And a chance, I think, for them to, you know, hopefully by the end of that stretch, maybe be right around or near the 500 mark.
Well, wouldn't that be nice for them? Because, you know, here they are. They're 6-5 at home, but they score 119 points per game, and they shoot almost 47% at home.
Yeah.
Of course, now young teams feed off home crowds, so this ought to be a good homestand for them.
Well, I hope so. I mean, they've got some winnable games in there. And then I think some of the dynamics of the roster are interesting right now. The way that Isaiah Joe is playing, he's basically shooting himself into more minutes. Maybe some of those are coming at the expense of Trey Mann, but he's been an incredible find so far.
Well, he has, and you know, and Mark Daigneault I really like his coaching, but boy, sometimes you gotta scratch your head and go, that's a different rotation,
right?
You know, because he's not afraid to change up, you know, and who he brings in. I mean, like Trey. I mean, instead of Trey Mann coming in off the bench in that first quarter, he's bringing Isaiah Joe in. Now, Isaiah Joe has earned it, but at the same time, you know, and then Baisley and Wiggins don't even play for a couple of games, and they come back and they play for 22 minutes, you know, 25 minutes consecutively. So, you know, you got to kind of scratch your head on how he's putting that rotation in.
Yeah, I think so too. Wiggins has not been getting as much time, but that court is pretty stacked. I mean, there's a lot of players there that it's tough to get into the lineup. So that's a good thing, I think, for Oklahoma City that they're playing that well.
Well, you know,
those guys with Giddey, Dort, and SGA.
You're right. You know, and the wings are you know, with J-Dub playing so well. I mean, they've moved him in the starting lineup, and he's earned it. You know, he's playing that well. You know, and so you have J-Dub in the starting lineup. You have Poku maybe at 5 or JRE. They're swapping those guys out. You know, and then Dort, and I think Dort is the only one that, you know, everybody talks about his defense, and he plays fantastic defense most of the time. Very physical. But at the same time, gosh, he almost gives up as many points as he's saving the Thunder.
Yeah, and I think, you know, he's still got time to grow as a younger player. So I do really like, again, J-Dub. I thought, you know, he got switched on to Luka. He's got so much potential. He's so good fundamentally in a lot of aspects of the game, and he's really comfortable as a rookie. I think that the more strong that he gets, the more, I think, experience he gets, he's got a chance to really take off.
Well, he does, and I love his length, because when he was switched on Luka would turn around and he would poke the ball away. I mean, you know, his arms are so long, he can just reach out and poke the ball away. Well, you know, that messes up Luka's. He's already getting ready for his shot or his pass.
Right.
And he's got to go back and regather, and that's 3 or 4 seconds. And I like that because it gets him off his set piece.
Right.
You know, Luka likes to load up and get ready, and J-Dub was keeping him from doing that.
Yeah, and I think, again, his offense is there's a lot of potential for that too. So you got to be really excited about the way this.
J-Dub also hit, and this is just not a J-Dub, sing along, but
right.
He hit some great mid-range. I mean, pull-ups right there at the free throw line. If he can consistently do that as well as he drives, then, I mean, nobody can really play to his strength, because he's got all kinds of strengths.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the steals of the draft. I really do.
I really do. I think so also. And you know, and the only thing about Dort, the one thing that really I think I am the most unhappy about Dort is he doesn't have any awareness of when and where to shoot a three at. I mean, in the shot clock, okay?
Yeah.
Because the other team just goes down and shoots the three, makes it, all right, and they may be up three or they're within three. And he'll go down and jack a three. Early shot clock three, no reason to, just because he has a shot. And if he hits, great, but he's only hitting 30%. So it's not like he's a percentage shooter.
No, I think that with the big contract, there's not as much offensive discipline, and I think maybe he feels entitled to take some of those shots. But I think that's a big key for him going forward is to create some shot discipline and learn his role more on offense. And I don't mind him going to the basket either. I don't see him as just a spot-up three-point shooter.
Again, I would prefer him going to the basket. He's so strong. He's a good free throw shooter. He can go in. He doesn't always finish well, but if he gets fouled, he's a 75% free throw shooter. He's going to get some points out of it. But, Mark's got to get in his ear and go, okay, hey, Dort, you got to know what and where to shoot that three. So, that's part of the coaching part of it, whether it's assistant coach gets and works with him, pregame or whatever, but that has got to be taken out of his game, or he's a liability instead of an asset on the offensive end.
I agree with that.
And we are at Barchichetti here on Northeast 2nd Street in Deep Deuce. Great drink specials, and they feature Wander Folk Spirits. I've talked about Wander Folk Spirits for years, a great distillery out of Guthrie. They are a provider of Wander Folk Spirits here at Barchichetti, the Wander Folk Vodka, Wander Folk Gin, and Old Moses Bourbon. All those available in different kinds of drinks here at the bar at Barchichetti. And also, Barchichetti has two sister restaurants, Osteria at 63rd and Western, and El Coyote in Old Britain, a New Mexican restaurant.
Fantastic.
Here.
Been there. That's good.
I'm going to go have some of that tonight. As soon as I leave here, I think that it's calling. I hear the coyote already. So, hey, we'll be right back after this.
Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rogers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
The painting professionals at Ray the Painter are committed to providing all of our customers excellent service and attention to detail. Since we started in 1991, Ray the Painter serves the entire OKC metro area. We do interiors, exteriors, residential, and commercial work. The experts at Ray the Painter offer custom finishes and glazes for cabinetry and woodwork, as well as spray, brush, roller, and trowel techniques to get the perfect look for your project. For a free estimate, call 405-605-3563 or visit us at paintokc.com.
Let me tell you about a New Mexico Mexican restaurant brought to you by the same people here that have Barchichetti. That's right. El Coyote is a New Mexican restaurant. That is from New Mexico style food. It's a great new restaurant by the same people that bring you Barchichetti. You got to try it. 925 West Britton Road in Oklahoma City. New Mexico Mexican food style. You'll love it. It's open every night. It's on Britton Road. Go by and try it. You'll love the favorites of New Mexico style Mexican food. You can't find it anywhere else in Oklahoma City. So go to El Coyote, the same people that bring you Barchichetti. Okay, we have a special guest here today of the Oklahoma Sports Report. Mariah Calhour of Calhour Real Estate Group.
I will tell you, interest rates are going up. I think they're kind of getting up into that 6 and 7 range. I don't see a problem with that. I know most people who are used to that 2 and 3, they're kind of like, oh my gosh. But I will tell you, and maybe you know this, interest rates once upon a time were up in like 18 and 19. So when we hear 6 and 7, I'm not worried. I'm comfortable with it.
Well, and if you really look at it over a 30-year fix, we're talking, a few $100 over
Correct.
a year's period of time.
Right.
When you break
Right.
it down on a daily basis, it may be only $1 or $2 a day.
And you can always refinance.
Yes, and then you can always bring it back down when
Yep.
interest rates are more favorable. And if you need any more information and the expert opinion of the expert, Mariah Calhour of Calhour
Group Realty.
Group
Yep.
Realty, give them a call and they will find out, or your Facebook page.
Yes, anywhere. You can Google me and you'll find me and I'll help you out.
There you go,
Yeah.
Mariah Calhour of Calhour Realty Group. And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report Thunder Basketball Edition. Mark Rogers, Rick Heath from Barchichetti, where they have wonderful food. It's an eclectic menu. You got to find out about it. It changes all the time, as well as a great bar with wonderful custom-made drinks to your liking. And they also feature wonderful spirits here at Barchichetti. Mark, you know, we were talking briefly about the bench in the last segment. You know, one of the things that is difficult for any coach, much less a young coach like Mark, is he's got to juggle that lineup. Now, Mark's is even more difficult because he has 14 players that all need to play and all need to be developed. You know, and so from time to time, like we mentioned, you know, sometimes he sits out Bays for 2 games. Sometimes he sits out Wiggins. Muscala's been sitting. You know, and some guys, you know, don't get to play as many minutes like Trey right now. Trey's on the secondary rotation because of the outstanding effort from Isaiah Joe. So Daigneault has a tough, you know, tough decisions to make. Of course, he gets paid the big bucks for it, but at the same time, tough decisions.
I think, again, there's not much practice time during the season, too. So it's, I think, based on feel, and then if you're playing well, then you know you're going to earn some more minutes. But yeah, it is difficult to kind of work out the rotation and watch this team kind of try to develop as a group going forward. You know, to transition into more competitive basketball, where you know it becomes, instead of a developmental process, it becomes based on outcome. You know, that you've got to win games and see who's getting the job done there.
You know, and the Memphis game is a prime example of how tough it is for a young coach. The Thunder were out in the third quarter. They
No
were
Dort
down
in that game.
Huh?
No Lou in that game.
Yeah, no
Right.
Lou, yeah, no Lou in that game. But they were out, you know, and all of a sudden he puts together a bench unit that comes in and picks them up, gets them back in the game. All right, and then with just 3 or 4 minutes left, timeout, and he comes back in with the starters. Momentum's dead. Nothing happens. They get blown, you know, Memphis does what they do well in the fourth quarter, which is take over the game.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's the toughest part. You know, do you stay with the bench players who got you back in the game, or do you come back with the starters that you have the most confidence in?
And really, no matter who it's been, the Thunder bench has been pretty good this year. I mean, even the Dallas game, the Thunder get off to a really slow start. You know, they don't score. Dallas scores the first 12 points of the game. So I think that it's I really don't have an explanation for that, because some of the times it's switching to the guys that are there, but at least that, you know, they can give them that jolt. So and I think it depends, you know, who's in the starting lineup, that they've got to bring a little bit more intensity to the table.
Well, you know, and that was the thing about it. I mean, you generally go back to your starting lineup with more confidence in them because they're a starter for a reason.
Well, outside of SGA, there's a lot of interchangeable parts. There really is.
I
mean,
agree.
there's some things that, for example, Josh Giddey's going to be a starter. He's a high pick, number 6 pick overall, but there's some weaknesses in his game that teams can exploit. You know, if you're really going to scout the Thunder and I think go forward in a 7-game playoff series, teams are going to want him to shoot the ball. They're going to dare him to shoot the ball and play in the half court. You know, so there could be a book on Oklahoma City but sometimes when you come off the bench with a guy like Kenrich Williams, who can do so many things and brings hustle and attitude to the game. He's an older player. You know,
And older by virtue of he's 28.
that's right. But he played, you know, he had a full 5 years of college.
That's what I'm saying, in the context of the Thunder,
yeah, Josh
that's
Giddey
an
had
older player.
No years of college,
Yes.
you know. So I think, yeah, he's an older, more mature player. I think
Yeah.
more confident.
Yeah. You know, and one of the things that I really like about Daigneault is he's not afraid to mix it up. I mean, you know, and sit somebody and bring somebody else in. You know, and those kind of runs, you have to play game by game, you know, and he's been able to do that, to mix up his lineup so that, you know, whoever's hot staying in, and for the most part.
Well, and it's a different approach. And again, and I think when Oklahoma City starts to get into the business of trying to win games, you'll see a lot more of rotational, you know, stability, the way that Scott Brooks had it. You know, you could almost, it was like clockwork telling who's going to come in the game at what point in time. Billy Donovan was a little bit of the same way. So
I hope not. I don't like either one of those approaches. I'm a who's hot stays in and who's not. You know, if you got a good flow going, just because it's 6:10 mark of the second quarter, nobody's coming out as far as I'm concerned. If I'm the coach, if we got a good flow going,
yeah,
you know that's
right.
just me.
Well, it's a different approach. Not many teams in the NBA use that. I think maybe a lot of stars want to know exactly what minutes they're going to get, and like for example, Chris Paul really concentrated on fourth quarter conditioning and things like that in his career. So with the young squad of all these guys, I think you can get away with it and kind of mold them that way.
You know, one thing I gotta give accolades also to Mark Daigneault is I love the pace of play that the Thunder use. They know that if they get in a half-court game, they don't have as many chances to score. They're not a good half-court team.
Right.
But if they push the ball at every occasion, they're more than likely going to get open looks in some form or fashion if they push the ball and share the ball, and they've been able to do that, and I like that part of the game.
SGA is really good in transition. If the court is open, it facilitates him getting to the rim easier. He can still do it in the half court. He's done it incredibly well this year, but a little bit easier for him in transition.
And I like that. Hey, we are at Bar Cicchetti on Northeast 2nd Street in Deep Deuce. If you come downtown during the holidays, you got to come to Bar Cicchetti, have some of the wonderful food and drinks, all available right here. Bar Cicchetti on Northeast 2nd Street in Deep Deuce. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report, Thunder Basketball Edition. Mark Rogers, Rick Heath from Bar Cicchetti. And we want to salute Bar Cicchetti for the wonderful Christmas decorations. It's well done. And if nothing else, come down and enjoy when you come down to downtown for the holidays. Come down and enjoy the wonderful decorations here at Bar Cicchetti. Mark, the upcoming schedule presents an opportunity for the Thunder, as we said earlier, to win some games at home because they play better. But I want to point out two games that I think are very, very important. And I like this situation is they play Portland back-to-back. And I think that is, and that's the NBA is starting to do that, where they'll bring a team in and to settle for scheduling and for, resting purposes and not back-to-back-to-backs like they have been. Portland, we play and have a break and then play again. And Portland is ahead of them, and Portland is a team that I think is going to be in the playoffs. I think this will be a very, very good test for the Thunder to see how they can play against a team comparable, maybe a little bit above, but still quality opponent.
I think it's a really good comparison for Oklahoma City. Damian Lillard's an all-star. He's got a unique style. SGA is becoming an all-star. His unique style. Supporting cast around them is similar. Young players that are contributing too. But I think it's an advantage for the home team to play these games. I mean, what do you do if you're in the road, you're in the same city for 3 or 4 days? We've seen it here where Oklahoma City swept the Clippers earlier in the season in that back-to-back series. There was an odd one recently where I think Orlando swept Toronto in 2 games that they were there. So I think that is an advantage for Oklahoma City.
Well, I would certainly hope so. It's not like Oklahoma City has an overabundance of entertainment venues.
No, right.
They have enough for us. We're quite happy with it, but somebody coming in from out of town may or may not, so they get sticking around a hotel, get bored, they don't know what to do. So bad for them, bad for Portland, I hope. Okay, then they come up with the Pelicans, which we'll talk about in just a minute, but the Pelicans, an outstanding team with just Zion is just becoming an absolute demon.
Yeah, first, they got the best record in the West. I mean, and I think that they have a chance to continue doing that. A really, really good team. It's a fun team to watch.
Yeah, they are.
I'll be at that game.
And then the Spurs are always, they're like the Thunder. They are young. They're building it back up, but nobody coaches like Pop. Popovich has got these guys. They share the ball. They play the ball much like the Thunder do. But, they get more out of less talent than anybody.
Well, and I think they're a candidate to be really in the race for the ping pong balls this year. We'll see how it goes, but I think that they've got a shot that, between Houston and San Antonio, I think going to end up the worst record in the West. All
right, let's talk real quickly. Surprise teams. Okay. We just mentioned the surprise team to me is the Pelicans. Golly, what a unbelievable start to the season they've had.
They've been really good. I'll give you a surprise team. I think Indiana's a little bit of a surprise team in the East. They're playing all right now. Tyrese Halliburton, who they got in a trade from Sacramento, is having a great season. He's kind of a guy like SGA that's really bumped up his play. Steals, almost as many steals to this point in the season as he had a year ago, shooting a really high percentage. So I think he's looked really good. I think there's a lot of surprises in the kind of in the mid-range. There's a lot of teams clumped together in the NBA, kind of with a couple games over 500, couple games under 500 type record, and I think we'll start to see that change as the year goes on.
Well, and that's what's going to be interesting with this Thunder home stand, because if they play well, they have a chance to be around that 500 mark, and that would be a very surprising ending to 2022 for the Thunder. Speaking of endings, we're done with this week's show. We'll see you next time. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Happy holidays. Be safe. We love you all. Merry Christmas.